It all started when a strange man moved into the old house next door. Nobody knew his name. Nobody knew where he came from. He arrived one rainy evening, carrying only a single suitcase. At first, nobody paid much attention to him, but then people started noticing something odd. He never slept. My name is Tommy, and I was 12 years old when the new neighbor arrived. Every night before bed, I could see his window from my room. The light was always on. At first, I thought he was just a night owl. But after a week, I realized something strange. Every single night, he was sitting in the exact same chair, staring out the window, not reading, not watching TV, just staring. One night, I asked my friend Jake if he'd noticed. "Yeah," Jake said nervously. "My dad says he's never seen that guy blink." I laughed. That sounded impossible. But later that night, I grabbed my binoculars and looked through my bedroom window. The neighbor was there, sitting perfectly still, his eyes wide open. I watched for nearly 5 minutes. He didn't blink once, not even once. A chill ran down my spine. The next morning, I saw him outside collecting his mail. His eyes looked red and dry, yet somehow he seemed completely fine. Days passed, then weeks. The strange behavior continued. One night, around 2 a.m., I woke up after hearing scratching sounds outside. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I looked through my window. The neighbor was standing in his backyard, digging. But what terrified me wasn't the digging. It was the fact that his eyes were locked directly on my window. He was digging while staring at me, without blinking. I quickly hid behind my curtain. The next day, curiosity got the better of me. When he left the house, Jake and I sneaked into his backyard. Near the hole, we found something buried in the dirt, an old notebook. Inside were hundreds of pages. Every page had the same sentence written over and over. "If I fall asleep, it wakes up." My hands trembled. Suddenly, we heard a voice behind us. "You shouldn't be here." We slowly turned around. The neighbor stood there. His eyes were darker than before. His face looked exhausted. Then he whispered, "I've stayed awake for 20 years. Before we could speak, his eyes finally closed, for the first time. The ground beneath us began to shake. From the hole behind him, something started crawling out. Something that had been waiting 20 years for him to sleep. And that's why nobody ever saw the neighbor again. But every night, a light still shines from that old house, and something sits by the window, watching, waiting, without blinking. When shines that woob, watching him out to sleep.